Have you ever found yourself contemplating the idea of getting married again after 60, only to be bombarded with doubts and questions from everyone around you? You might ask yourself if it's truly worth diving back into a serious partnership at this stage of life, or if your friends and family are right when they raise all those concerns. In this presentation, we're going to explore some of the most surprising realities of remarrying after the age of 60, those shocking truths nobody really warned you about, but that you deserve to know before stepping into a new marriage commitment. Whether you've faced the loss of a spouse, a divorce that took years to finalize, or simply the yearning for companionship and romance again, these revelations may shift your perspective. By the end, you'll either feel more certain about forging ahead or more cautious about the road you're choosing. Either way, you'll have the clarity to decide what's truly best for your future. Imagine Deanne, a 62-year-old widow who spent years caring for her late husband through a difficult illness. After he passed, she wasn't sure she could ever open her heart again. But life brought an unexpected person into her world, a kind, energetic man in his early 70s who rekindled feelings she never thought she'd experience again. Her adult children, though, grew anxious at the mere mention of her remarrying. They worried about finances, inheritance, emotional upheaval, and even the possibility that Diane was moving too fast. Caught between her own desire for companionship and the apprehension swirling around her, she felt torn. That's when she started seeking out stories from others who had remarried in their 60s and beyond. She discovered a set of truths that changed how she viewed her new relationship and helped her step forward with both eyes open. It's essential to note that this isn't one-size-fits-all advice. Every individual's circumstances vary, from health status to personal finances, to whether you have supportive or skeptical family members. If you've struggled with a difficult divorce settlement, you might be more guarded about tying the knot again. If you lost a spouse after a long illness, your emotional readiness may be completely different. The point is to examine these surprising realities with an open mind, not to see them as universal laws. As always, any major decisions, especially about marriage, might require advice from professionals like attorneys, financial planners, or even therapists, so you can be absolutely sure of the path you're choosing. Still, these shocking truths will help you fill in the puzzle pieces that most people in their 67, 70s or beyond rarely talk about until it's too late. A crucial insight many older couples stumble upon involves finances and inheritance complexities that can complicate even the happiest love stories. During your younger years, you might have simply combined bank accounts or taken out a mortgage together without much second thought. But at 60 or beyond, money often carries deeper layers, like what you want to leave to your children or grandchildren, or how you'll fund potential medical care down the road. The practical side of remarriage can be a rude awakening. You might discover that if you don't structure things correctly, you or your new partner could jeopardize each other's retirement security. Some folks find out too late that a second marriage can unintentionally override the inheritance plans they once set for their kids. Or maybe one partner has significant debts, medical bills, or obligations to a former spouse that can spill into this new union. Many older couples opt for prenuptial agreements, not because they lack trust, but because they recognize that protecting assets can prevent heartbreak and confusion later. Diane, for instance, never realized that by remarrying, her pension benefits could be affected, altering what she could pass on to her daughter from her first marriage. Once she learned how crucial it was to clarify finances, she approached the topic with her new partner. They worked with a financial advisor who specialized in later HAPE marriages. Although those discussions felt awkward initially, money talk often is, they ultimately felt relieved that they'd tackled it head-on. Don't be surprised if sorting out financial and estate matters is the biggest reality check of all. Rather than seeing it as unromantic, consider it as laying a solid foundation of trust and clarity. Another overlooked factor is the profound effect that remarriage can have on long-standing social and family dynamics. You might be so focused on how you and your prospective spouse get along that you forget to account for everyone else who's part of your life: adult children, siblings, old friends, and even grandchildren can have powerful unspoken emotional stakes in your decision. Some might worry that your new partner will replace memories of your late spouse or overshadow your existing traditions. Others may fear that you'll become less available for them if you invest too much time in your new relationship. In certain families, adult children fret about losing their inheritance or being left out of estate planning. It's not necessarily that they're greedy, often they're just insecure or worried about what the future might bring. These tensions, if left unaddressed, can trigger resentment or even lead to estrangement. You might find you need to have multiple heart-to-heart talks with your offspring or your siblings, explaining what you see in your future spouse and ensuring them that you're not trying to erase your past. It helps to invite them gently to get to know your partner on neutral ground, like a casual dinner or a short family outing. Sometimes bridging generational and emotional gaps is tough, especially if they're still mourning a parent or protective of your well-being. But ignoring these feelings can erode the sense of unity and acceptance you'd hope to enjoy. The surprising twist is that as you heal these rifts or build new relationships, you might deepen not just your romantic bond, but your overall family harmony. The key is transparency, empathy, and sometimes a dash of patience that extends well beyond the wedding day. Third, many seniors who consider remarriage don't fully realize how essential it is to assess one another's health and caregiving expectations. When you're young, sickness might feel like a distant concern, but past 60, age issues can appear suddenly. Heart conditions, joint problems, early stages of dementia, or even just the need for daily medication routine. If you or your partner faces pre-existing health conditions, you need to talk openly about who will handle caregiving tasks and how. Are you mentally, physically, and financially ready to become someone's primary caregiver if things worsen? How do you feel about the possibility that you might need more help than your partner can provide? Some couples discover big discrepancy. Maybe one is robust and active, wanting to travel and hike, while the other has mobility constraints that limit those plans. That can lead to frustration if no one addresses it early on. Meanwhile, the emotional load of caring for a spouse can be exhausting if you've already been through that scenario with a previous partner. A new spouse might say, "I'd never want to put you through what you went through before." But how certain is that promise? Illness doesn't always follow the script we write. It's not about scaring you away from love. It's about ensuring you both walk into this union with eyes wide open. Some couples choose to remain unmarried or use a more casual commitment precisely to avoid some of the legal or medical entanglements. Others find comfort in the idea that they'll be there for each other no matter what. Whatever you decide, don't skip these honest conversations about who's responsible for which forms of care, how you'll handle in-home support or assisted living if needed, and whether you share similar philosophies about medical interventions. It might feel heavy, but it's crucial if you want a stable, trusting partnership. Fourth, a surprising truth is how remarriage at 60+ can reignite a sense of youthful enthusiasm or highlight hidden emotional baggage. On the positive side, falling in love or re-establishing intimacy might make you feel decades younger, giving you a burst of energy to explore new hobbies, travel, or socialize more. Some say they haven't felt so alive since they were 20. That's the thrilling part. However, there's often emotional baggage from previous relationships or from losing a spouse. For instance, if your marriage ended in a painful divorce, you might unconsciously carry fears of betrayal or conflict into your new union. If you lost a spouse you deeply loved, you might wrestle with guilt, feeling as though you're betraying their memory by loving someone else. These internal battles can show up as mood swings, sudden anger, or attempts to compare your new partner unfavorably to your old one. While your new spouse might empathize at first, it can become draining if you haven't resolved those past traumas. This is why many therapists advise older adults to do some personal healing work, counseling, grief support groups, journaling, or heart-to-heart talks with close friends, before leaping into remarriage. You want to stand on a stable emotional footing, not leaning on your new partner as a crutch for unresolved pain. When older couples do address these issues, many find it deepens their bond, forging an intimacy that surpasses younger years because both parties recognize what they've lived through. The flip side is that if you gloss over emotional baggage or bury it under excitement, it can resurface later with greater intensity, casting shadows on what could be a fulfilling second chapter of your love life. Lastly, many seniors are startled by how significant the day-to-day routine differences can be when merging households or lifestyles after 60. Maybe you've been living alone for a while, enjoying the freedom to watch your favorite shows whenever you please or keep the house at your preferred temperature. Perhaps you have a specific breakfast ritual or love your solitude in the afternoons. Now another person arrives with their own habits, from how they like the bed arranged to what they consider normal dinner conversation. When you're younger, you might adapt more easily or be used to living with roommates or children. But later in life, routines can become more ingrained. Differences that seem trivial, like one partner wanting the TV on all evening while the other craves quiet, can escalate into ongoing friction. If you rejoin someone in a single household after years of your own space, it's not guaranteed to be easy. Another factor is that you might each have adult children or grandchildren visiting. Coordinating schedules, deciding which pictures to hang on the walls, or even how you celebrate holidays can bring up unexpected tension. Some older couples navigate this by living in separate residences for a portion of the week, an arrangement that might sound unusual but suits those who desire companionship without sacrificing personal space. Others merge households but negotiate clear boundaries. The key is to realize that after 60, you might not have the flexibility to grow up together the way you did if you married at 25. Instead, you both come with decades of established patterns. That can be an asset if you celebrate each other's independence, or a liability if you try to force your ways on each other. Knowing this going in helps you brace for the compromises that will keep peace in the household. These are 5 shocking truths behind remarrying at 60 and beyond, shining a light on issues like finances, family dynamics, caregiving burdens, emotional baggage, and lifestyle clashes. If you recognize your situation in any of these, don't lose heart. Many older couples form beautiful new marriages that bring companionship, support, and even a youthful spark. The difference is they face these truths head-on, rather than letting them fester. Being proactive about estate planning, talking openly with family, aligning health expectations, working through past emotional wounds, and adjusting to daily routines can pave the way for a deeper, more resilient union. Diane discovered that once she and her new partner set up a clear prenuptial agreement, had multiple sit-downs with both sets of adult children, discussed future care preferences, and openly confessed their remaining heartbreaks from their previous marriages, they felt more grounded. The wedding itself became less about naive romance and more about a conscious, loving decision to share life together. That's the power of knowledge, turning potential landmines into building blocks. It's also worth pointing out that some seniors choose not to legally remarry for these very reasons. They might do a commitment ceremony or simply cohabitate, ensuring they keep their finances, estate, or healthcare arrangements separate. Others might find they do want the legal bond, feeling it solidifies their partnership and aligns with their values. There's no one correct choice. The important part is understanding the potential consequences, both positive and negative, so you're not blindsided. If you're leaning toward remarriage but remain uneasy, consider seeking professional advice. An elder law attorney, a licensed counselor, or even a financial planner who specializes in older couples. This small investment in guidance could save you a world of headaches and heartbreak down the road. If you do walk down that aisle again, many older couples report an unexpected joy. The sense of starting anew at a stage of life when society often assumes you're winding down. The excitement of introducing each other to new friends, traveling as a pair, or even hosting joint holiday gatherings can breathe fresh life into your retirement years. The secret is ensuring that the foundation is strong, honest, and considerate of all the complexities that come with second or third marriages in later life. You might find yourself forging deeper intimacy than you ever did in your younger days, precisely because both of you have experienced loss or heartache and have a refined sense of what truly matters. Conversely, if you decide after pondering these truths that marriage isn't the right step, you can avoid a painful entanglement. Maybe you'll remain in a companionship arrangement that respects each other's boundaries without the legal ties. Or perhaps you'll focus on forging stronger family relationships and personal growth, freed from the pressure of a formal union. The beauty of later life is that social expectations can be less rigid, allowing you to define your path more freely, whether or not it includes another ring on your finger. Don't forget to communicate your evolving thoughts to those around you. Adult children, siblings, and close friends deserve to know where you stand, partly to support you and partly so they can adjust their own expectations. If you eventually take the plunge into remarriage, having them on board can turn an uneasy environment into a genuine celebration. If your new partner is also open and transparent, that fosters a sense of unity that can quell many of the usual suspicions. On the other hand, if your dear ones remain opposed, you might need to decide whether your personal happiness overrides their concerns. This can be a tough call, but at least you're making it with all the facts in mind. To wrap up, remember these truths exist not to scare you off from love, but to help you navigate it with wisdom and confidence. Few regrets are as heavy as marrying or not marrying based on illusions. By understanding the financial pitfalls, family tensions, healthcare responsibilities, emotional baggage, and day-to-day lifestyle shifts that often accompany remarriage after 60, you're doing yourself and your partner a huge favor. You'll either move forward with eyes open, prepared to handle challenges, or you'll decide another arrangement is better suited to your life. Either way, it's about living authentically in your later years, savoring the companionship you desire, without naively ignoring the realities that can derail it. Thank you for spending this time with me. If these insights helped you, consider sharing them with a friend or family member who might also be contemplating remarriage in their golden years. And if you find yourself wanting more discussions about life after 60, topics ranging from health to finances to personal relationships, be sure to follow or subscribe for future content. Whatever your path forward, may it be guided by clarity, open communication, and a sense of purpose. Getting married again in your 60s or beyond can be an extraordinary adventure, but only if you embrace the challenges and rewards with equal honesty. Here's to making a choice that truly aligns with who you are and how you want to spend the next chapter of your life.